In 2017, 5,000 illegitimate children were born by girls below 18 years old. Until June this year, another 1,664 were born. In 2018, 100,000 Malaysians are reported to have HIV. Every day, almost 10 Malaysians can get infected. 16,000 people have died of AIDS since 2013, mostly from injecting drug users, IDU, and sex workers. When the topic of sex education is brought up, people get the misconception that it is about teaching how to have sex. The wife of the current Prime Minister, Dr. Siti Hasmai, has defended now Minister of Youth and Sports Said Saddiq about teaching sex education in school. So, how knowledgeable really are Malaysians in sex ed?
By watching it online and by experiencing it.
I found out through sex, through friends and media, so no formal education, nothing like that, just whatever the passes through.
12 years old, you're looking on the internet, then you slowly Google search, then Google brings you to weird places. That's about it, yeah.
Friends, school, classmates, yeah. People just talk about it.
I was 9, I was at a friend's house, slumber party, and that's what you do, you're guys, and then after that, well, to put a name for it, pornography, that's how I started.
我有从小父母的话就有这方面的教育和引导。
My parents gave me resources and were very open with me in the ability for us to connect.
I think the most closest I got to the exposure of sex is, by movies, but that's just kissing, and then it leads to something, but I don't really know what's behind that. I think the formal age of me knowing about sex is at the age of 14, 15.
What do I know about sex education is nothing much because I wasn't really educated on it.
So basically what sex education is just whatever your friends tell you, whatever you hear from older adults that you're closer with, which are not your parents, and just whatever you get from the media.
For me, it's it's just education about sex. There's nothing really much to talk about.
Basically, how they teach you to use contraceptions and protection so you don't get pregnant.
I think that a thorough sex education would include everything from more than just the birds and bees, but straight up to parenthood and also family planning and the whole lot.
就性教育的话，其实就是对一个男女生殖器官的一个教育。
It's very much on the body parts, right? How things happen, how do you contract an STD, how do you get pregnant, and it's very much focused within the reproductive health section.
For me, sex education is a teaching and learning way about sex and sexuality.
The thing is, people don't know. That's why all that things happen.
I think to a certain extent, the sexual acts have been demonized because we are a very conservative country. So they don't want to talk about it in case they feel like talking about it will encourage people to do it. But I guess teenagers will be teenagers. So if you don't talk about it, they're still going to do it. And then there's repercussions, and that's what happens.
I believe that everyone has the right, to do what they so please, to each their own. But the problem is when people don't understand the consequences. And so what happens is, people instead of facing their responsibilities, they decide to dump their responsibilities, so to speak, and that's very sad.
I think that's definitely the reason why, because they lack the understanding in this topic.
Oh, I think it's because for most families, their parents don't really accept things like that. Maybe cultural, things that religion and all, they're against sex before marriage. So I think that's why the case of baby dumping are there, and that's why they should implement it in school.
一方面可能是虽然大家都在对这一方面进行教育，但是可能他自身中是没有接收到这一个信息的。
Probably 16, because it's just the right age, not too young and not too old.
When children are making the transition age to teenagers, when they're facing issues of puberty, I think this will be the best age to bring up this topic.
For me, around 12 years old, because that's usually the age where we start to have the interest in that.
high school at age 13.
就从他们小学开始就可以做引导。
Actually, the age where they introduced sexual education was when we were 10 years old.
Somewhere primary 4, primary 5, because it's important to start young so that not only will we have the exposure but also the proper understanding.
After gathering opinions, we decided to approach Aisha at a talk held on children's sexual abuse, as she is more knowledgeable on this topic. We brought her to this social experiment to shine light on the topic of sex education.
I am Aisha. I founded a movement for girls called SPOT. It's the Simple Puberty Organizing Toolkit. We've been running for 3 years. What we do is we go into primary schools and we teach comprehensive sexuality education to 9 to 12-year-old girls. Wow, that's a loaded question. I don't teach sex education. I teach comprehensive sexuality education. Sex education is actually part of the modules under comprehensive sexuality education. We talk about everything from relationship building to skills for health and well-being to social values, good moral values, good beliefs, good habits. We talk about period and menstruation. We also talk about how to stay safe and violence against women, gender discrimination. And we discuss most of the issues that actually appear on your timelines in the newspapers in regards to sexual crime in pertaining to underage girls. So that's not just sex education, because sex education is mainly reproductive health. How does one get pregnant? What kind of organs which are used to getting pregnant? And how you prevent from getting pregnant. And because we're in a predominantly Muslim country, we somehow promote abstinence, which is not what SPOT stands for. We actually promote safe sex. We don't deny the fact. Good question, 2 years old. Moms and dads, you need to make sure that they know the exact names that can be used in courts. You say a vagina, you say a penis. You don't say bunga or flower or like bird, you know, or pee-pee, wee-wee, no. Because those are not words that can be used, descriptions that can be used in court. We need them empowered, and you as parent need to make sure that your children are learning the correct information so that they can continue making sense of what's happening with their bodies. We are born as sensual creatures, okay? But without proper guidance, without proper information, correct information, which are age appropriate and according to sensitivities and customs around the community and family, it will not be accepted by the kid, and it will actually transpire into sexual actions. And we need to stop this before it spreads into something more dangerous like gender-based violence. Because if we are not teaching them, we don't know who are. And most of the time, 80% of the information that, for example, 80% of the information that you can find on social media and online are not correct information. So 2 years old is the best age to start, and it continues forever, because this is your body that you have ever since you were a baby until the day you die. It's the same body, so you need to learn, you know, how to use it properly. You can learn about how to stay healthy, right? And you know how to treat your illnesses, you go to the doctors and everything. So you should learn about your own sensuality, sexuality, and how to perform as a sexual being. We need education, we need awareness. I know that people like us, we talk about this. We need to extend these conversations beyond just our space, you know, so that everyone else continue talking about it. You know, we need to take it to the rural areas. We need to take it to the people yang dekat kampung-kampung, like the one that Sri was saying. You know, a man can just walk into a kampung, pick girl number 7, 8, 9 and 10 and want to marry them regardless of their age. So what's the value of a woman? What's the value of a girl? What is our worth? But also, it's not just girls, boys as well, as I mentioned just now. We don't know what kind of men we're raising if we don't address this. It happens all over the world. You can't stop people from having sex. You just need to tell them to put on a condom, right? So, as I mentioned just now, we promote safe sex, and yeah, they need to be educated about sex. We need to talk more about sex, having conversations that will also help educate people.